This 6-step framework is proven to be the fastest and most bulletproof way to make 10k a month from trading. This is the exact same framework that I used to become funded 4 years ago, and my students used to achieve financial freedom in just a couple of months. Literally anyone can follow this simple step-by-step system regardless of their current knowledge level and regardless of their financial situation, because the upfront investment to make 10k a month will be only a few $100. So I will explain the framework soon, but first we need to identify what our monthly return goal should be in order to make 10k a month, because I want you to understand how easily achievable this goal actually is if you follow the step-by-step system in this video. So you may think you will need to make a huge amount of profit, flip an account every month, or do some crazy stuff just to make 10k a month, but this can't be more further from the truth, because a few years ago a huge game changer came into play which changed my and many other traders' life. This game changer was that you could have access preference as a retail trader without having years of track record, and on top of this they give you a very good profit share. But let's hear the exact number which will allow us to make our 10k profit goal. This will shock you, but all you need is 3% profit every month. So now you start doing the math in your head, and you may think you need to have a huge amount of money to start with, which most likely you don't have right now, but luckily it's totally fine, because as I said before, the upfront investment will be only a few $100. So now that we know how small of a profit we actually need to make, let's go over the 6-step framework that will show you exactly how to go from a beginner level to making 10k a month. It's very important to follow every step exactly and in order, because if you miss even one of them, it will cost you a lot of money and literally years of wasted time. So let's start with the first step. Imagine trying to build a house without a solid foundation. Without a solid base, the entire structure can become unstable and may eventually collapse. The same is true for trading. Learning the basics is your foundation. Without it, no matter what techniques and tips you learn, you will fail on the market. You can learn the basics from either YouTube, which will be free, but it will take you a lot of time, or you can buy a course and pay for a much faster learning process. However, I understand that some of you are not in the right financial situation to buy a course or a mentorship at the moment. This is why I have a huge surprise for you guys, which I will reveal in the end of the video. So now we mastered the basics, but learning the basics was just a huge waste of time without doing this next step. So the next step after you learn the basics is to either learn a strategy or create one. But as I said before, as a beginner, it's basically impossible to create a sustainable, rock solid, consistent strategy simply because you don't have the right experience for it at this moment. This is why for beginners, I always recommend to just start out with a strategy that they learned from someone else. Obviously, you need to find and learn a strategy that was used in real life and not just shown on YouTube, which can be extremely hard, but luckily the surprise that I briefly mentioned a minute ago will be a solution to this problem too. But many people have a strategy to use and yet they still lose money, and they lose money because just having a strategy without doing this next step will be absolutely useless. With this step we'll be able to figure out the exact win rate and the average risk reward of the strategy. So once we completed this process, we'll see by pure numbers if the strategy is profitable or not. Meanwhile, we'll gain a lot of confidence and familiarity with it. So the third step is backtesting. If you are not sure how to backtest, I would recommend to purchase a TradingView subscription, then go to a random year on the chart and start applying your strategy while keeping a cheat sheet of the losses, wins and breakevens, and also how much you made with the wins. So in other words, what is your risk reward. To have a statistically relevant number of trades, I recommend to have at least 100 to 200 trades backtested. This sounds very good, but even backtesting is not 100% bulletproof. You can easily make mistakes, maybe you were lying to yourself a bit, and there could be countless more problems that can come up with a new strategy. But luckily there is a solution to this, which you will be able to figure out if the strategy really works on the real market or not without risking any money. So to really see if the strategy will be usable and profitable for us personally, we need to forward test. You can simply do this by opening a demo account and trade the strategy as we would do on a real account for at least 2 months. Just a pro tip, open a demo account where you want to trade live if possible, because every broker has a different slippage, commissions and spreads, so it's very beneficial to get used to it. After the 2 months, if we still like the strategy and it fits our lifestyle, we can go to the next step where we can finally try to make some money. So we did everything. We learned the basics, we created or learned a good strategy, we backtested a lot, we traded on demo for months. It's time to make money. It should be easy. Well, most likely it will be not that easy. Actually, this is the step where most people will give up on trading. So we are learning for months now, no more time to waste, let's get a prop firm account. I would recommend a minimum of 50k account, but 100k is even better, just to have some real pressure on yourself. Remember, at this point we are still getting better as a trader day by day, so the main focus still should be learning and gaining experience. But I need to tell you something that may surprise you. Most likely you will lose your first prop firm account. I lost my first prop firm account too, and 99% of traders who I talked to was exactly the same. Now, the only possible way to counter this, if you have a mentor from the get-go who can keep you accountable and keep you safe from making huge mistakes. Because as I said before, the goal at this point is still learning and not necessarily earning. I could sugarcoat it and tell you guys that all of you will become a full-time trader without any help in 2 or 3 months, but this is simply not the reality. So if you lost your first account, don't get discouraged, be sure to learn from your mistakes, and after 1 or 2 months try another account, and I can guarantee you will have at least 2-3 times as much chance to pass that one if you learned from your mistakes. So let's say you passed your second prop firm challenge, and let's say the challenge was a 100k one. Now the hardest part is over, we are finally on a live account and can trade for real money, but we need to figure out how we will make the most out of this account. FTMO is the first prop firm that I would recommend, so we'll do the math based on their rules. They have 80% profit split to the trader and even 90% after 4 months, but let's just stick with 80% for now. If you will make 3% on the 100k account, it will be only a 2.4k profit split, so it's nowhere to our 10k goal. Of course, you can safely make 7 to 10% a month on average if you have a good strategy and you have more experience, so you could even make 10k with just a 100k account in a good month. But let's just say that you made 5% in your first month, which is reasonable. Now we will need to get to the next last step, which will get us to our main goal, to make a good amount of money even if we made a small return on our account. So 5% in the first month would mean a 4k profit split for you. Now we will need to reinvest some of this money wisely and increase our capital to get to that 10k a month with only 3% return. All you need to do is buy 3 more 100k challenge on FTMO, so you will have a maxed out 400k account. This will cost us around 1.9k, and now you just need to repeat the 5th step again, pass the accounts, but meanwhile you passing them, at least you have money flowing in from your funded account, so you are in a much better financial situation than you were before. And once you pass the new accounts too, you can merge together all of the accounts into one big 400k account. So how much money we will make on this new much bigger account if we are making only 3% profit in a month? 400 multiplied by 0.03, so our 3% return 12, so we make 12k in a month, and 12 multiplied by 0.8 is 9.6k, because 80% will be our profit split. However, as I said before, after just 4 months you will get 90% of the money, not 80%. So in that case, after 4 months the 3% would mean 10.8k payout for you. But more realistically, everybody can make around 5% a month, which will be around 16k even with just the 80% cut. And when you are a really good trader, you will be able to make around 10% a month on average, which will be 32k, and it will increase later with the higher cut of the profit. So now we know the exact framework, but you will never get to a funded account if you didn't complete the first 2 steps flawless. But remember what I said in those 2 steps, that I have a surprise for you which will solve all of your problems with learning the basics and learning a strategy. Well, I created a totally free course for you guys where you will learn many things from the basics all the way to trading psychology, and also a strategy which you can start to use instantly, and after some practice even get funded with it. In fact, I passed my first FTMO challenge with that strategy. But you're not only gonna get access to a free course, there is also an entire community where you can get feedback on your trades by other traders, including me. You can share your struggles and connect with like-minded traders. The link will be in the description. Feel free to join after you watch this video, because you can have all the knowledge from the free course and the exact plan for 10k a month. You will not be able to make any profit if you believe just one of the 7 most common trading myths that I will expose in this video.